morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Sorry, my voice is still in and out. I'm recording as many of these episodes at a time as I can, so this is just where I'm at right now, how I'm feeling. But we're going to soldier on. We're going to have a good time. So today I want to talk about the rumor mill. Oh my God. Aren't we all well familiar with that? Now, as some people have pointed out to me, obviously there's varying degrees of the rumor mill, depending on where you work. And there's some places that don't put up with this bullshit. And then there's some places that just don't give a shit. So, obviously, those of you who are doing well with this, who don't have issues with rumor mill, would love to hear from you and would love to talk with you more and hear practical solutions for how y'all are dealing with it, because there's a lot of people that actually really need some help with this. Genuinely, I'm not being sarcastic or condescending about that. Like, this is legitimately an issue that is plaguing us amongst many other things. What is the rumor mill? Well, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. People like to talk. They like to spill the tea and hear all the juicy news about everybody. Ultimately, it's entertainment. There's no value in it. You're not learning anything. You're not actually contributing to anything or bettering anyone by perpetuating the rumor mill. You're entertaining. You're getting attention. You're commiserating with people. And especially if it's somebody you don't like. And then it's like, oh, I have this dirt on them now. But what are you actually doing? And it's funny, like, because, and I will admit, like, I'm not sitting up on a pedestal here, because I have been someone who has perpetuated the rumor mill, and it's tempting. Like, I get it. There is a draw to want to hear everything, and when you find out some new bit of news, you're like, oh my God, I gotta tell somebody about this. Well, that's what you have a significant other for, so you can just be each other's tea buddies, and that's where it fucking stops. But anyway, point being, when you're perpetuating things, we've all played the game telephone as kids. All right, one person says something to one person through, the telephone, and then they pass it on to the next person and the next person. And by the time you get around the room, the message that was originally sent and the message that is received at the far end are two completely different fucking things. It is no different in the rumor mill. So when you're hearing something that is a rumor, you should automatically assume that 50% of it is false. And that's being fucking generous. And like I said, I get it. I get that it's tempting, it's easy, it's titillating, it's right there. We all want it. Why the news is so attractive, because the news thrives on this instinct that we all have to want to hear the good juicy shit. But it's not so great when you're on the receiving end of it, which I have also been. I have done some, like, atrociously dumb things in my life. And in my career, I've made some very public mistakes, and I've made some even worse private ones. But point being, it's great and all getting to spread the tea until you're the one who is the subject of it. And that's the thing about tea, is there's no loyalty in the rumor mill. None. No one gives a shit. No one's going to cover for each other. Shit's going to get spread. Why? Because we're addicted to it. We love it too much. We're not going to let it go. You'll hear about things that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago and still want to spread them like it's recent news. And I get it. I get it. I'd be a hypocrite if I said I've never fallen prey to it, and that, even now I still have to watch myself, because it's always fun to hear something juicy and new. But it's very low brain. You're not using a lot of high brain function here, and you're not contributing anything by perpetuating the rumor mill. And in fact, you're actually more likely to cause irreparable harm to other people for nothing. And you also destroy your own credibility, because if you're willing to talk shit about someone, then why should people trust you with personal information? That's the part of it we don't really think about a whole lot. If you're the one who has to go tell everybody everything all the time, nobody's going to trust you with anything. Now, do I hear stuff? Sure, because I have worked very hard to develop a reputation as somebody who does not go parading tea around. And sure, I am aware, I stay aware of current events at both at, my job, but also other places that I have worked. I keep friends and connections. Not because I give a shit about the drama, who slept with who, or who, I don't give a fuck about that. More bigger picture stuff is what I'm interested in. What's happening? What are the overall politics? Who's in charge? What are the power shifts? All of that kind of thing. But there is very much a purpose for that. And a lot of it is ultimately to draw attention to these things. No, I'm not like going onto the news and being a whistleblower about this agency or that agency or whatnot. But by bringing these things out into the open, it's a lot easier to have a conversation about them and actually start to address them. So you have to think about your own credibility in these situations too. And if you're somebody who has to spread all the tea about all the individuals all the time, you're not very credible. And you're being very short sighted because it's all fun and games until it's you, until you're the one who fucks up. Whether it's on a call, whether it's with a coworker, whether it's something to do with your relationship status, whether it's, you know, maybe some illegal activity or something, you get arrested for some bullshit or whatever, and then that shit gets paraded around. Generally speaking, the people that spread this shit don't give a damn whether or not it's true. They're just going to hear a tidbit and they're going to share it with everybody. Everybody. We have to put this to death because what is this? It's worse than high school. It's worse than middle school. Like, Michelle and I will talk about things because kind of our general philosophy is we, keep each other up to date of, in general things that we are made aware of. But, that's as far as it goes. We don't go around to tell anybody and everybody, all these things. But occasionally our kids will hear our conversations. They're like, grown-ups are like this. I'm like, yeah, yeah, they are. They are. We'll tell them stories about the way people talk to us, the way people try to start shit with us sometimes, and they're just like, really? I thought people grew out of that. Nope, they don't. So, you know, it, I heard an expression a while ago, and this is not a direct quote because I'm sure it's been butchered many times by different people, but the general principle is small minds discuss other people, average minds discuss events, strong minds make plans and solve problems. I would much rather be someone who has a reputation for a strong mind. Obviously, I'm human. I mess shit up. I'm not perfect. I do dumb shit. Whatever. But my life has gotten so much better when I stopped giving a fuck about hearing what other people were doing. Sure, I still do. I still hear shit, like, because people talk. And you can't not hear shit. But to me, so much of it is noise. There's no signal there. There's mostly noise. And especially if I hear something about somebody else, I don't like to form an opinion about it until I've talked with them. And if I haven't gotten to talk with them and hear their side of the story, I generally don't have an opinion about it. Because here's another funny thing is people love, there's so much of the quote ho culture that, is kind of a blot on EMS. And everybody loves to parade around the stories of people's indiscretions. But here's the thing. No one no one ever sympathizes with the hose. And I get it, like, you do dumb shit, you get caught, it is what it is. You gotta pay the consequences for it. But usually people who are acting out and doing profoundly stupid shit, there's a reason for it. My grandfather always said that troublesome people are often in trouble themselves. And people that do things that the average person is like, oh my God, that's fucking stupid. Why would you do that? There's usually some deeper shit going on. But we don't care about that because we think, well, this person did this, stupid thing, so I have every right to talk about it, every right to shame them for it and all this. Listen, I grew up basically in a cult. My whole existence was shame and guilt. And I can tell you right now, those two emotions, those two sensations are a devil's grip on your mind and will put you in cages that you can't even fucking imagine. Does that justify the things people do? No. Does that justify the mistakes that I've made in my life? Absolutely the fuck not. But the people that make mistakes need some compassion too. And I would much rather be the person who gives the benefit of the doubt to people that make mistakes and asks them how they're doing and how they're holding up than the person that just wants to go tattle about it to whoever will listen to me. Because a lot of times those people need some fucking help. I've been that guy. I know those guys. And I can tell you right now that that's not an easy existence. That's heavy, heavy, heavy shit. And of course, we're not going to talk about it because who's going to give any sympathy to them? Who's going to give any sympathy to the person who was the bad guy? Because you just assume that, well, they did something bad, so therefore they're a horrible person and they don't deserve any sympathy, empathy, whatever. And no, people should have to deal with consequences of their actions. But it is not the responsibility of every single person who hears about it to enact those consequences. I have friends who've been through some horrible shit, stuff that I don't agree with, who have done things that I don't agree with, and they know it. It's not my job to shit on them. It's not my job to punish them. I am not judge, jury, and executioner. They, on top of already punishing themselves over and over and over again, they already have to live with the consequences of their actions. It's not my job to make it worse. It's not yours either. People do dumb shit, cool. It comes up. It's talked about. The factual events can be relayed. All right, fine. It is what it is. You do dumb shit, play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. It happens. But to drag shit out and insert yourself into something that wasn't your business to begin with, just leave it the fuck alone. You don't know the details. You don't know what all was involved. You don't know what's going on. You don't know any of it. So shut the fuck up. People are going to do things you don't agree with. People are going to do things you wouldn't do. Cool. Carry on. That's life. Address what you can. Address negative behavior, but don't drag people all over the place for no fucking reason because that doesn't do anybody any good ever. It doesn't benefit them either. Like they need, people who do bad shit need to be corrected, but who's gonna actually want to listen to input from people when they're constantly being shit on and shamed and there's no constructive input or constructive relationships happening? It's just not gonna fucking happen. So I think this is something that we need to change the conversation on. We need to take a hard look at how we deal with this internally because it's not going well right now. It hasn't gone well for years. And I couldn't even say what kind of systems tend to have it worse because I've seen small rural systems that have an incredibly toxic cesspool of a rumor mill, but I've also seen large, very active, very progressive services that are the same way. There's people are people. People are going to do dumb shit. People suck. And it is what it is. You carry on with life. You figure your shit out and you do the best that you can with the time you have. If you take the energy that you spend, if you're someone who likes to participate in the rumor mill, take the energy that you spend in that to bettering yourself, to self-reflection, to self-improvement, to building a better future for your life. You'd be amazed the good things that will happen to you. That's all I got for you guys. If you learned something, good. Share it with your friends. If you're offended, good. You should be. And I'll talk to you next time.